All right, everybody, welcome back to the #1 television program in the history of the entire universe. I am Brian Lee Durfee, author of The Forgetting Moon, The Blackest Heart, and The Lonesome Crown, all three books published by Simon & Schuster's Saga Press. Today I am going to be sharing with you my entire Terry C. Johnston Western novel collection. One of my favorite Western writers in the world. You know, I love Louis L'Amour, Zane Grey, Larry McMurtry, and countless others, Westerns. I mean, I grew up in the desert Southwest. I grew up on Louis L'Amour novels. And Terry C. Johnston has become one of my favorite writers of all time. So we're going to go over all of his books here. I've got a whole bunch of them here in paperback. We've got several different series we're going to talk about. So let's just get to it. Now, the first series I'm going to show you is a trilogy that I have read all three books, and I've reviewed all three books on this channel. So if you want to watch the individual reviews of these books, all you need to do is type in the name of the book into your YouTube search bar along with my last name, and the review will come up. So the first trilogy of Westerns we're going to talk about, this is just such a cool Western series. This is the Jonah Hook trilogy, and the best way to describe this is kind of like the Outlaw Josie Wales. If you ever watched the Outlaw Josie Wales, you know that Clint Eastwood movie starts with Clint Eastwood coming back from the Civil War, finding his ranch has been destroyed and his children kidnapped or killed, and then he goes on a revenge quest. That's kind of the way this series starts, and it starts with Cry of the Hawk. And our Civil War soldier, Jonah Hook, he comes back and he finds that his family has been kidnapped, his ranch has been destroyed, his family has been kidnapped by evil Mormons that are taking his family and his wife and daughters back to Utah to become polygamist. They're part of the polygamist clan. Anyway, and then he just goes on a 3-book revenge quest through Winter Rain and Dreamcatcher. It's just a really, really cool blood and guts sort of quest tale, revenge story. Just 3 great novels, very well written, very descriptive. You just put in the old Southwest really quickly on this journey. And then we've got this other trilogy, which is his Son of the Plains trilogy, which is about George Armstrong Custer and all of his exploits. So it's sort of historical novels about Custer. And just look at the great covers that we've got here. Each one of these covers has just got this delightful wraparound, old-timey feel to it. I really think these are cool looking. Sorry, I was looking at that. There's a loose page in this book. I don't know how that happened. Just really great one. Okay, now his biggest series, his Plainsman series, which follows Seamus Donegan through pretty much every. The first one, Sue Dawn, follows our man Seamus Donegan through the Fetterman massacre of 1866. I love these covers too. So Seamus Donegan is our main character in this. I would liken this book on this Plainsman series is kind of like Bernard Cornwell's Saxon Tales, where we get the 12-book series of the Saxon Tales and set in the Vikings attacking the English coastline over and over and over. This is kind of like every every major battle that happened in the Western United States, our main cowboy Seamus Donegan witnesses it. So we get a good historical look at a lot of different things in a great Western action adventure novels. Book 2 is Red Cloud's Revenge. This is the showdown at the Northern Plains in 1867. Again, great cover. Book 3 is The Stalkers, the Battle of Beecher Island in 1868. Another great cover. Black Sky, the Battle of Summer Springs, 1869. Book number 5, Devil's Backbone, the Modoc War, 1872. Shadow Riders, the Southern Plains Uprising, 1873. And then for some reason the publisher changed up the whole design of the books. And for this series we had this great theme going with the spines, and then they're just like, yeah, for whatever reason, fuck all that. Let's redesign everything and make it look ugly. So then we've got the Dying Thunder. This is the fight at Adobe Walls and the Battle of Palo Duro Canyon, 1874. Still a good illustration, though. And then we've got Blood Song, the Battle of Powder River and the Great Sioux War of 1876. And then we have Reap the Whirlwind, the Battle of the Rosebud, June 1876. And then Trumpets on the Land, the Aftermath of the Custer Massacre. A Cold Day in Hell, the Dual Knife Battle of 1876. And rounding out the series, we've got the Battle of the Butte, Wolf Mountain Moon. So that is the Plainsman series of 12 books. And now we get to my favorite series of 9 books. This is the Titus Bass Mountain Man series. And it's broken up into 3 trilogies. So the first trilogy is when Titus Bass is a young kid in sort of the Appalachian Mountains, and we kind of follow him from the Appalachian Mountains out west in this trilogy. And this one is Dance with the Wind. And then Buffalo Palace as he makes his way more further out west, and then Crack in the Sky as he starts to become a mountain man out west. And we shall put these over here. And then the third trilogy, when he's an actual mountain man doing mountain man things, we've got Carry the Wind, Border Lords, which, by the way, has a great, one of my favorite book covers of all time. And another one of my favorite book covers of all time, The One-Eyed Dream. But we're not done with Titus Bass, the Mountain Man, because there's another trilogy where we follow him even further into his mountain man adventures with Ride the Moon Down, Windwalker, and Deathgate. So, all of these books, as you can see, are pretty thick, chunky books. All of them 500 to 700 pages long. Very epic in scope, very detailed, very well written, very descriptive of the Old West. Just absolutely a wonderful collection of books if you want to read westerns that are similar to Lonesome Dove, kind of like a cross between Lonesome Dove and Louis L'Amour. You need to get Terry C. Johnston, one of my favorite writers of all time.